California is bracing for more extreme weather, more storms coming in on the weekend, and these have been deadly storms. At least 18 people have been killed so far, and the search continues for a missing 5-year-old boy. Kyle Doan was swept away in floodwaters on Monday. His mother was driving their car, and the vehicle got caught in those fast-rising waters, became submerged. They got out of the car. He was swept away, and the family has been speaking publicly now. The mom describes the moment she became separated from her son.
He followed my instructions. He let go of the backpack, and then he came to me. But the current was so strong that it wrapped my right arm around the tree, and I was holding his hand, and then the current pushed him away from me.
They brought in the National Guard to help with this search now. More than 100 members and more will arrive on location today. Troops, dive teams, volunteers, search dogs, and drones as well. And that's a particularly tragic part of the story that we expand again on this morning with Steve Futterman, who is up early, live in Los Angeles. And nice to see you, Steve. On it goes. Talked about the brief reprieve in parts of the state yesterday. Huge cleanup underway. What is the overall picture of this storm in scope and cost?
Well, cost, Heather, it's going to be an enormous cost, at least $1 billion US in the cleanup cost, but it's probably going to be much more when you add into the infrastructure damage. There have been serious problems on roads, so we've had those sinkholes. But, you know, just look at these pictures. You see the mud pretty much everywhere. There have been mudslides, and these mudslides continue even today to some degree, even though there's going to be no rain today pretty much throughout the northern and southern California. Today, sort of a break, the calm before the next storm, if you will. But there's still cleanup activities going on as much as they can today. There have been the mudslides, the muds on the road. We've had the raging rivers, most likely into the northern part of the state, in the Sacramento area. The beach sides have been just battered by high waves, high tides. It's just been a very, very big problem. And again, they'll do their best today, but there's only so much you can do. But right now, as you mentioned, the death toll at least 18. Lots of trees down, power lines still down. There's still many people without power. They're going to try to take a breath today and get ready for the next storms.
Which we're going to do as well. As we've said, a very, very small, short window for cleanup because there's more severe weather coming. So tell us what's in store and the preparations going on, Steve.
Well, people are doing as best they can. The problem, Heather, is that it's not like a new storm coming in and there's been no water in the ground. All the hillsides, all the ground is saturated already. So even though these next couple storms, there could be up to 3, are not going to be as intense as the last few, they begin with sort of a deficit to begin with because the hillsides are already saturated. Even a little bit of water is going to cause problems. There's this woman we spoke to yesterday in Santa Barbara. She describes how she's trying to both clear out the damage and also put sandbags up.
I just see this as the aftermath of the climate crisis, and that these emergencies are becoming more and more frequent, more and more impactful. I just feel kind of scared and anxious for what's to come this weekend.
And this weekend is not going to be very pretty. We expect the storms to come in beginning tomorrow, Friday night, but then they're really going to hit on Saturday. There'll be another storm after that and probably another storm even after that. The next week is going to be another wet one. It's really not been dry at all here in Southern California and Northern California since the new year began, and it's going to continue that way. Again, mudslides, the big concern. They're trying to clear the roads. Highway 101, which was blocked off for a while in both directions at various points, has been pretty much opened again. That's a very important throughway connecting both North and Southern California. So they're hoping to open that up pretty much through the entire time. But there's only so much you can do when you're going to have more and more and more rain.
Steve, I've really appreciated your coverage of all of this, and the story continues. We'll be in touch again. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Heather.
Steve Futterman, who's in Los Angeles.